The sender is a foreigner. Oh, this is another one. Hi Terence and Beth, I am your new subscriber. I can see that's genuine in your channel. Your advice is really helpful and don't stop giving advice because it makes me smile and gives new perspective in life. I am 65 years old, happily married if me and my Filipina are not fighting each other, laughing out loud. My problem is every time me and my wife has a quarrel or misunderstanding or tampo, what you call that, she speaks her native language. And one time, for curiosity, what my wife said in Visayan, I recorded. And I let my neighbor, the sari-sari store owner, to translate it to me. At first, I don't believe it. So I went to my friend whose girlfriend is also Visayan, and I let her translated it, and they have the same translation. So my wife says in the recording is Tambok Tigwang.
Translation. Yeah. So the translation is.
Yeah. The Visayan is Tambok Tigwang Buang. So the translation of this is fat old man crazy. And she walks away later. She walks away after she talks that. You know, and everything, once we settle for a few hours or a few minutes, it's back into normal like nothing happened. So like we're back into the beginning, like boyfriend and girlfriend.
So it goes back to being good together.
Yeah. So what should I do? I love my wife, but it just happened that it seems that what's their attitude towards me? Give me your advice, Terence and Beth. Thank you for your time. A foreigner with a loving when she's not mad at me.
So what he's worried about is he wants to know whether how she is normally when she's being sane, whether that is the truth, or whether the fat old man you're crazy side of her, which erupts like a volcano when they have an argument. And he wants to know really which is which one should he believe in.
I think based on what the message is, if they don't have quarrel, which he didn't stated, if it's how often it was, based on what he stated, that they're like boyfriend and girlfriend, like nothing happens after the misunderstanding. So it seems that it's just normal, you know. It's just normal that because sometimes when we're very angry to someone, to our partner, sometimes we talk not from the heart but from the mind, right?
From the mouth.
Yeah, from the mouth here. You know.
Americans call it shooting your mouth.
Yeah,
off.
because sometimes our mouth is. That's why That's why before we speak, you know, we should bear in mind that the word from this tongue is much sharpened than the knife, because it's broke the heart and
cut.
Yeah, in wound it healed for a few days, few weeks, but in the heart, the knife that came out to your mouth could lead something to other person. That's why it's very difficult. That's why bear in mind that think before you speak. You know, so based on what I understand, it seems that it's just normal, you know. Maybe it's just the joke of your wife, right?
Well, maybe she's just letting off steam. Well,
yeah.
Well, that's not a maybe, is it? It's really a no-brainer. When she gets really mad at him, she erupts and says things in her own language, which she knows she can't say
in person.
In his language.
Yeah, in his language. And at the same time, you know, it's just a kind of, maybe it's normal, you know, it's just kind of that every time you got an argument, it just came out on her mouth, because that's what she always use every time you get an argument. So it's just like a use word, right? But there's no there's no meaning on it, you know. So
well, it doesn't mean it. It's very likely that it doesn't mean the same to her as it does to him.
Yeah.
Because it's her second language. And like we know with some of the titles that you come out with, you called somebody the terrible man.
Yeah. So possible, that's what came also in her mouth, because possible you are fat, right? And you're old, you know. And when you got an argument,
just say it like it is, honey.
Yeah.
Okay.
serious, you know. And when you got an argument, maybe you get crazy. So that's why she came out on that. But you know, all you need to do, is when everything else calm, you're gonna speak to your wife and says, look, I'm because of my curiosity, and I recorded it when we got an argument, and you said to me that I'm fat, I'm old, I'm crazy. You know, so you speak what's in your mind. Are you serious on telling me that? You know,
Well,
just
he is 75 years old? No, 65
65
years old. So he does qualify as being old. So that part of it is true. Are you overweight? So if you're overweight, it's not one of those things that you can sort of hide. You can't say, well, yes, I'm 350 pounds, but I'm not I'm big bones. I hear that a lot, you know. Yes, but I was always big. Okay, well, you were always fat. Didn't that comedian in America go on and say that he could never understand it with a woman? He said, whenever a woman says to him, does this dress make me look fat? He always says, no, it's the fat that makes you look fat. So,
yeah.
is he fat? Is he old? Now, the crazy part, he might want to dispute.
Yeah, and all you just need to do is you just talk, you know, all you just settle it. And I think that it's just normal for a relationship that there is misunderstanding, you know, because it makes the relationship stronger as long as you communicate.
Well,
And
as long as you live through the misunderstanding.
yeah, and at the same time you learn from the misunderstanding, you know, and working it out to make it into a better relationship, you know. And at the same time, I think it's a good thing that you don't understand the language, you know. I think it's a good thing that you don't understand the language, because if you understand, maybe it's a big fight, you know. So that's another thing that foreigners should not learn in language, but you know, because
Well,
there's an example to that, you know. Terence and I and Batchoy went in town, you know, and then we walk, and then there's the man there in the bake.
I'm walking with Batchoy,
Yeah, and
I'm holding Batchoy's hand. Okay?
Yeah, and holding Batchoy's hand, and I was in the back of them, you know. So Batchoy and Terence is walking, holding hands, and I was in the back. And then there's a few three men sitting down, and they said to Batchoy, boy, it's not your father. Look at your nose and look at her nose. Look at your color and her color. Boy, it's not your father. And then Batchoy looking at them and laughing. And I was in the back following them, so I just laughed on it. You know, so when we were far, I said to Terence, you know what they said? They said to Batchoy, boy, it's not your father.
Well, that didn't bother me. But it is true that there's a certain kind of armor plating that goes with not understanding the language, because you never take offense at anything that's said because you don't know what the hell's being said anyway.
Yeah.
But that being said, it might be better if you actually spoke the language and understood it, and then you could choose as a foreigner to acknowledge which communication from which. So in other words, in the case of this expat who's got a wife that calls him fat, old and crazy, well, it wouldn't really apply because she would know if he could speak the language. But somebody else might call him fat, old and crazy out of temper, and he could choose whether he was going to acknowledge that.
Yeah, so just talk, you know, just talk to your wife, and then maybe just settle it down. Because I believe that, as you said in the message, that when everything is okay, you're like boyfriend and girlfriend from the very beginning.
That's the real decider, isn't it?
Yeah. So